Welcome back to Media 7 Summer Editions. Late last year it emerged that one of the country's most prominent journalists was departing the trade, for a while anyway, and taking up a job in political communications. Now, political journalists cross the tracks often enough these days that that's hardly news, but Carroll Du Chateau is no one's gallery hack. From the 1970s, when she ran the Dominion's women's section, through the golden era of Metro magazine in the 80s, she has stood out as a writer and editor of serious feature journalism. And her new role isn't your standard Wellington comms job either. She'll work 2 days a week from home, adding colour to the Prime Minister's speeches. She's with me now. Hello Carroll, congratulations on the new job.
Thank you very much.
Now the news story said you were retiring, which sounds a bit final. Is that actually the case?
No, I wasn't. I was never going to retire. I actually had lots of, well, not quite commissions, but I was all set to start on a freelance career. But I just wanted to work from home and have a bit more control over what I did when this job came up.
So how did the offer get made? Because it's easy enough to see how it happens with gallery journalists. They see MPs all the time. How did it happen in your case?
I knew John Key because I'd interviewed him several times, and also he's our local MP. And I called him to say, well done, congratulations, and told him that I was leaving the Herald, and he then asked me if I'd like to come and work with him.
Was it a difficult choice? Because I've known journalists who've gone to work in press and communications roles in politics, and they've almost apologised to all their colleagues. Was it a difficult choice for you to make?
Not at all for me. No, I was absolutely perfect timing as far as I was concerned. I felt I'd put in with, must have been 30 years, doing the hard yards, and I actually felt it would be interesting to do different things, and I think hopefully I can make a difference via helping him, get his message across.
What's the particular appeal of helping someone get their message across like that, of speechwriting? Have you sat there for years thinking, I could do better than that?
No, I never think I can do better than anything, but I do think that it wouldn't help bringing some of those kind of writing techniques into speeches and into some of the speeches that that our politicians are making, and I'd just like to have a go. I mean, it was his idea, but it's something that really appeals to me. It was just exactly what I wanted to do.
As part of the appeal, I mean, your dad was an ad man. He was a copywriter. You did some of that as well.
Yeah.
Is part of the appeal, that copywriting thing of turning out nicely crafted phrases?
Well, partly that. I do like the nicely crafted phrase, but the thing, my father was also a poet, and I've also seen myself as more of a writer than a journalist, actually. I've never really been to journalism school.
That's almost sacrilege. You're supposed to think of yourself as a journalist first, aren't you?
Supposed to, but I think I'm a writer first, and I think that there are a lot to bring to it. Really good speeches, when you listen to Obama, have a lot of the qualities of poetry about them, and a lot of the qualities of great prose. So, yeah, I think it could. I don't know if I'm going to get a chance to do that sort of thing.
Is success crafting a memorable phrase that people repeat to each other? What's the measure of a job like this?
I really don't know. I awfully can't say. But I do think something that people pick up on, that they can relate to, that means something to them, is probably going to be the right thing to do.
You're stepping aside, even if only temporarily, from print journalism and from full-time print journalism.
Yeah.
What kind of health do you think you're leaving print journalism in? Because I know there's a few people concerned about it.
Well, it's certainly been hollowed out, I would say. Print journalism is, the newsroom at the Herald is a lot thinner than it was when I first arrived. I mean, there's a lot more people on the online team, but the daily newspaper, journalists are many fewer than they used to be.
Does that concern you? Because the Herald is an important voice. It's a historic masthead, and yet the newsroom's halved in size probably since the time you've been there. Does that worry you?
It breaks my heart. It's awful. I think it's really sad. I think it's a real shame that we're not putting more of the money that the Herald makes back into the Herald.
What things are you most proud of in your own career? You got to write really big, serious features, which is another form that seems to be disappearing, even from Metro itself.
Yes,
is it those
indeed.
big ones that you're most proud of?
I had a wonderful start at Metro. It was absolutely fantastic, and I am quite proud of some of those pieces. Yes, people still come up to me and talk to me about them. The closure of Carrington Hospital, which was the sort of the start of deinstitutionalisation of mentally ill people. I think I'm proud of that. And then a subsequent story I did on mental health. I wrote a piece on John Walker, which was full of poetry, actual poetry, which I think was the best thing I ever wrote. It was quite a wonderful piece, very lyrical. Didn't speak to John Walker. No one had a name. It was really adventurous journalism, and there's no place for that now, I don't think.
So you don't feel you could have developed in the same way, writing for a newspaper feature section? Metro was special, was different.
Metro was special, completely different. There was no way. That's not the sort of thing you can get published in the Herald. No, the Herald is much more sensible, and it's a newspaper. But having said that, I had a great run at the Herald, and I got to do some terrific stories, follow a few important murders, once again, look at mental health, look at child abuse, try really hard to get some changes made at socially.
You were starting again now, say fresh out of a journalism course. Where do you think you'd head? I mean, this is the age of the internet, everyone's got a blog. Would you have headed for print again as a writer?
Well, I don't think I have a choice because I'm a writer, but if I was a journalist just coming out of journalism school, I'd probably head to online, or one of these new little magazines, these local magazines that are popping up. I think probably that's where I'd go.
Again, we come to this idea of the independent publication offering something for young journalists that maybe a big established masthead can't.
Yes, I think it's quite a good way to start, and it's very hard to get into the big established mastheads. We're not taking on a lot of people except on the online. Well, the Herald, I'm still talking about it as we, because I've been there for so long and I feel like I'm part of, it's part of me, and it's going to be very hard to break that.
Are there things in the local media landscape that give you hope, give you cause for cheer? Is anyone doing good work? Oh, yes. There's
lots of people. There's some brilliant people coming out of journalism school. They're doing fantastic work. No, there's cause for cheer. It's just it's kind of like the hardware is the problem. The software is fabulous. There's more and more of it, and definitely there's cause for cheer with the people. It's just the mainframe holding them together. It seems to be so focused on making money out of it. It's always been seen as a bread and butter industry. You get people pay for the paper every day, so that it's a terrific industry to invest in terms of the corporates. But I don't think that's works so well for the people who work in the industry.
That's interesting, because the industry is often seen, particularly at the moment, in terms of doom and gloom. The proprietors are struggling. Tony O'Reilly's got problems. Is it perhaps the case that maybe the end game isn't quite so bad if these publications do end up under independent owners? Is that a good thing for journalism?
I think it would be a very good thing for journalism. I think Tony O'Reilly's making quite a lot of money out of the Herald. It's a little bit thin at the moment, but that always happens in the summer. But even with the downturn, it makes a lot of money, that paper. We just don't know where it goes.
What about you for the long term? I mean, you're not going to stop writing. You won't be a speechwriter forever. Is there a novel in the wings, or just something you'd really like to do?
Look, I've thought about that a lot. I actually think that I'm best telling other people's stories. So maybe I'll do biographies, perhaps. I'm not sure. I really don't know. For the moment, the speech writing has got me all excited, and I'm very happy to do that.
Yeah, I think you're a bit like me. You're no good at making things up.
No, too long. I've spent too long not making things up and getting things right, and making sure I'm actually writing someone else's story right, and getting right inside their head and their heart to maybe start making it up.
Well, Carroll, best of luck with the new job and for the future. I have a feeling this won't be the last we'll hear of you. And that is all we have time for this week. Next week, I'll be taking a break, and Media 7's reporter, Simon Pound, will be taking the host chair for the final Summer Edition show. For now, thank you to our guests, Angus Gillies and Carroll Du Chateau, and thank you for watching. Goodbye.